afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Todd's Corner. Um, Gordon is visiting some family, so he's not going to be on the show this week. But I brought two kind of shady kind of guys, so you might want to check them out. Mr. Roy Bellaquist
Hey,
and Mr. Warren. How you guys doing?
good. How you doing, Todd?
I'm dandy. It's Sunday and it's Todd's Corner, and I get to do something fun, so it doesn't get any better than this.
Well, we're just feeling kind of shady here, but thank you for the time. We really appreciate you having us on.
No
Yeah,
problem.
it's appreciated. Although I have to say, I'm not being too shady. I'm a little bright with.
Oh yeah.
We're using the opportunity to do some self-promotion, Todd, so I hope that's okay.
Oh yeah.
And
That's
Roy's
fine.
got his tie-dye shirt on.
That's what we're here for. Get some these fans and all that stuff, some information on what's going on. Calgary's coming up pretty quick.
Yes, it is. My life the next couple of weeks, as you can see, is going to be comprised of boxes, bins, and totes, and of course, picture frames. Something a little new and different. Yeah, we're gearing up. I think we've got a really good handle on things. It's going to be a very unique event. I think Roy will be in agreement there. Some of the things we're planning have definitely not been attempted before, at least on this scale. And although we started off as a small, quaint little quote unquote relaxicon, it has grown and morphed into something a little larger than anticipated, but it's still going to be a lot of fun for everybody at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm not gonna be able to be there, so I'm gonna miss out on some of the fun. But hopefully, you guys are gonna do some live videos and stuff like that, and take plenty of pictures. I'm gathering.
Oh yeah.
It's definitely going to be a fun time. We'll try to keep everybody connected with that. At one point, I was thinking, just for your viewers out there, I do a show called Roy's Tie-Dye Sci-Fi Corner. And my plan is to post images and then maybe some video shorts throughout each of the day just to keep everybody informed. And then also maybe do an interview here and there as well, too, because as the folks may know already, our special guests are going to be Alan Carter, Nick Tate, the one and only, as well as Yasuko Nakazumi. So they will be joining us in Calgary. So we're very excited about that. So we'll definitely try to do some ventures online and just, that way the folks out there, the fans can kind of interact even just for a little while and just, see some updates. But very excited about this time. And as Warren said, this was literally going to be a relaxicon. And then as time went on, it just really morphed. And Warren really took the lead on everything, getting this together. So it really, there's a lot of day events that are planned, and it's going to be a lot of interactions. And Calgary is a huge venue for events that take place. And of course, not only is it Space 1999 gathering going to be taking place, but then there's also the Calgary Expo, which from my understanding is pretty amazing, right, Warren?
Yeah, indeed. So we're going to be running concurrent with the big expo. It's actually the third largest expo in North America after San Diego and New York. It was I was a vendor there for 8 to 10 years. It is huge. It is literally like a small city. 80,000, 100,000 people generally in attendance. So the entire city, the entire downtown core is definitely going to be a buzz with activity and people coming and going and even flying in and out. You might be on the same flight as a celebrity coming in. Who knows, right? They've got the big names, Hayden Christensen, Anakin Skywalker, of course, is going to be in town. Several other people from all your favorite movie and TV franchises. And we're just happy to be doing our own little thing off to the side, of course. We're a small, close-knit fandom, but we're still going to be holding primarily one day of regular convention type activities with Nick and Yasko signing and photo ops and things like that. So that's going to be on Saturday, April 29th. at the Sandman Signature Hotel. It's 888 7th Ave Southwest. I know that off the top of my head in downtown Calgary. From 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Full day of events and activities, along with Darren Peters Eagle 3 as well, which is we're very, very pleased and happy that Darren's going to be bringing that beautiful, majestic piece, one of only 3 in existence. And of course, one of only 2 now that we'll probably ever see again live and in person, because the other one got bought up, as we all know, about a year ago. So yeah, it's going to be some really fun and unique and special events going on that Saturday.
Awesome. Yeah. Sounds like it. Yeah, it has gotten a little bit bigger, especially in the last 2 months, I'd say. So yeah,
definitely. We're still going to focus on those Relaxicon events though, because even though we only have 1 day of regular con activities, we do have the 3 day trips still planned, and that was the whole impetus of things, of just the idea of really just getting together and hanging out and making it a vacation. So we're going to be going to, of course, famous Vulcan, Alberta. If you're a Star Trek fan, it's on the bucket list. You got to go to Vulcan. So we'll be doing that on Friday the 28th, and then we're going to nearby Drumheller, Alberta, which is about an hour away, on the Sunday. So after our con activities on the Saturday, Drumheller is home to a world famous dinosaur museum called the Tyrrell Dinosaur Museum. It's where they found the largest, I think it's, don't quote me on this, but the largest T-Rex in the world. So that, of course, spurred a bunch of funding from the government, the Canadian governments, to develop this a local museum. And it's supposed to be, I've never been there myself, but just incredible things to see and do. And again, a very, not just some little one-off facility, but again, very, very large and very extensive. And then, of course, Drumheller is home to a bunch of other local, even famous filming sites in Calgary as well. The new HBO hit series called The Last of Us was shot in Calgary recently. So, yeah, Drumheller on Sunday. And then, of course, Banff, and this is where this goes back a few years between Nick and I. Nick is really looking forward to coming with everybody to Banff, Alberta. Famous facilities and just beautiful scenic views in and amongst the Rocky Mountains. And we're going to do some fun things like ride a gondola up one of the mountains and maybe dip in some hot springs and take in on some local cuisine. So that's sort of the long and short of our weekend. 1 con day, a few day trips, should be lots and lots of fun. So
cool. Yeah, sounds like it. I'm gonna miss all the good stuff, but I burned up a lot of vacation trying to help out down in Florida with my dad. It's still a mess down there. I mean, it's getting slowly in some areas back to, but you can drive, half a mile down the road and still see a boat or a boats up in the trees.
Wow.
I mean, big boats. I'm not talking about canoes. I'm talking about, miniature yachts.
Sure.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
So
we're sorry you're not going to be able to make it, Todd. And totally,
yeah.
You definitely will be missed. And it totally understand about the vacation. And, it's hard because there's, regular life events that are going on and
right.
Trying to balance everything. And, everything definitely takes time. So it's respected, and hoping your dad, does better with different things. But I know you have a full plate too of everything that you're dealing with.
It's pretty crazy, but what can you do? Your family's only with you so many, so long. So
right.
He's turning 76 this year, and I honestly, I think he tells me every time I talk to him, it's just so hard to live. Yeah. But he's got himself in that predicament, so I don't know how to get him out, but we'll see what happens.
Wow, our thoughts are with you, Todd. Just, I mean, from everybody in the community, we really hope and pray for all the very best of outcomes for you.
Yeah, I think everybody's made it clear that they're right there. So, I got some questions up here on the board. I'm gonna probably say to Nancy Kirk that Barbara is not going to be available. Um, we even we've been trying to talk to her about Wonderfest and everything, but she apparently she purchased I don't know what they call them, a theater, I guess, where they do the live plays. And
Sure.
she's renovating it, so everybody knows she loves live plays and stuff like that. So she's got her hands full right now.
Yeah, she's still very active and still working in the local theater. She loves it. Yeah,
that's truly amazing. And there is nothing like, I mean, as much as we love television and we all love film. I mean, just having done community theater, I mean, on that type of level, there is nothing like being on stage and the appreciation of live theater, because every performance is different from the next. And the fact that she's doing that, with her career that has spanned it as long as it has, and it's still going so strong. I mean, it just shows you how dynamic of an individual she is, and it's pretty wonderful that she's doing what she is. So,
and at her age,
yeah,
I can't remember exactly how old she is, but she's quite a bit. And she's up near 90.
She's going to be 92 in September 13th. So yeah, God bless her. That's wonderful.
What was her birthday again?
Her birthday is September 13th. So she was born in 1931. So yeah, I mean, she's pretty much the same age as William Shatner, because William Shatner just turned 92 on March 22nd. Yeah. So, and he's going pretty strong. I mean, with everything that he does. So, you know what? Again, God bless both of them. I mean, it's truly amazing that, what they're doing.
After all this stuff with Picard, maybe they need to bring Captain Kirk on the show somehow.
It's sure been an exciting season, boy, I tell you.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you been watching it? Have you been watching it, Todd?
Oh yeah.
It is. I mean, not to digress off of all this, but let me tell you,
sci-fi. That's what we talk about here.
Yeah, absolutely. It is amazing. I mean, if anybody out there has not watched it, I mean, no spoilers from my mouth, but it's just incredible.
No, it's all over the Facebook and everything, and everybody keeps telling them, like, stop.
Yeah.
Stop. There's some people that haven't watched it yet.
I know.
Yeah.
So,
and it's too bad. I have a number of friends who prefer binging, so they're going to wait till all the episodes come out. But I got to say, guys, I mean, one of the funnest things about this season has been that weekly drip of information and anticipation, and that's just part of the overall excitement. I wish more people would realize that binging, you don't get the same effect. So
no, you don't. No.
If you're into nostalgia, and you were a fan of Star Trek: The Next Generation and you have not watched Picard, I highly recommend that you do. I mean, everybody has an opinion about stories, things that could potentially be, done a little bit differently and whatever. But let me tell you, they really have acknowledged Terry Matalas and his core group. I mean, the Akudas, Michael and Denise, and then there's so many other people that have been involved in this production, especially this third season. They have pulled out the red carpet to acknowledge what a lot of fans would love to see. And it really connects the dots. And again, the nostalgia factor is probably like 200%. So I can't say enough about it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. There's a question on there. Only I can't remember what's going on, but are the guys going to have any dealers at your place?
Oh yeah, primarily me. So I'm loading up, boy, and I'm hoping that I'm going to have time to juggle everything that's going to be going on that day. But our other big draw is a fantastic fellow named Bill Altenberg, with his selection of 3D printed eagles and ultra probes and space like incredible stuff. So we're real happy that Bill's going to be joining us as well and loading up a car or a suitcase full of stuff.
That's cool. Yeah,
the Jeffrey Mandel blueprints as well. We just arranged to have a number of those on site. The famous Eagle blueprints, will be available in a limited supply. There'll be, and of course, my big thing has always been autographs. So I mean, there'll be plenty of signed prints and hand, nothing pre-printed, of course, all hand signed. And I even posted today the large prints that I got from Alpha 2012. They formed part of the big photograph wall. Roy will know what I'm talking about. And they were auctioned off at the end of that event for charity. And so I have a number of those as well. And they look really nice. They're all framed and ready to go. One other a quick thing on Barbara, if I could back up as well, is that in relation to the earlier question, sorry to hear that isn't going to work out for Wonderfest. I know it is a busy time for her this year and things like that. But just to make it officially known, we've actually been able to reach out to her recently in regards to London next year. And we're all hopeful, of course, that she's going to be able to make it over to London to help us celebrate the 50th anniversary. So keep your fingers crossed there as well, okay?
Heck yeah.
Yeah, love
that
to have
would be
her.
wonderful if she can make it. And of course, we don't know at this point because her schedule, as Todd was indicating regarding just this coming June, how busy she is. So, it's pretty much we're just going to wait and see. So we may not know until later on, but she's definitely been invited, and we're hopeful and hoping that she will be able to make it. But it's going to be a stay tuned in regards to that.
Yeah, we still got some time for Wonderfest, but I think it's going to be the same way. She's just too busy.
Yeah.
So we wanted to try and give her, lots of heads up and notice for London next year. So
yeah, absolutely.
We'll see how it works. And in the meantime, listen, we were talking about Shatner, so let's. I'm going to put it out there. Let's start a fan campaign to raise enough money to get Barbara up in maybe one of Elon Musk's space capsules. Okay.
The question is, would she want to do that?
Exactly. No, that'd be fun to see though.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
I wonder how he felt going up there.
Well, I'll tell you something. A lot of people that have interviewed him and then have spoken to him saying that really, he's very humbled, and it really put things in perspective, and just the way, he just seems so appreciative to have had that experience. It's amazing seeing him on a lot of the interviews that he's done. It's almost like it changed him in some ways. I can't even imagine having that opportunity to be, up so high and just looking down on the earth. We see this through all the, fantastic shows that we've seen and movies that we've seen, growing up, and even, with contemporary viewings. But to actually live through something like that has got to be totally amazing. I can't even imagine that.
Right.
Well, I think you're right, Roy. I think it humbled him. And you know what? Bill, has always sort of carried around a little bit of an ego all these years, but I think literally it brought him down to earth a little bit. He was moved. Like, I remember when they landed, he was in tears. It really did affect him.
Well, he's been playing a captain of a starship for so many years, and then to actually get to go into space. What the hell? I'd be bawling like a baby too.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give a plug for Ticonderoga. He actually, what he's been doing the last several years is he actually appears, if you have never been to the Star Trek original series set tours, you definitely have to check it out. It is amazing what James Cawley has done up there. And William Shatner, pretty much the last, I could say 3, and it might even be more years than that, has been appearing regularly at least twice a year. And it tends to be around July, and then also in November, right, very close to Thanksgiving. So if you have the opportunity, definitely check out the website in regards to that, and you can find out information. But it's the captain on his ship for sure.
And there's even some interesting connections, no spoilers, but interesting connections to what James has done up there with the aforementioned Picard season 3.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
It's all connecting.
Yeah.
You're well represented. You have it looks like you have viewers that are joining from the UK.
Oh, yeah.
Gary Reynolds and
Yeah.
And everybody's saying hello and hi to everybody too. And
Michael Morissette.
Yep.
And Michael
Eric
Hodges,
Longstreet.
all true TOS fans must make a pilgrimage to Ticonderoga.
Absolutely.
And I'll second that with also Vulcan, Alberta, right? Two bucket list places to go if you're a Star Trek fan, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's the part I'm going to miss, but I'm going to make it over there on a vacation at some point. So then I'll do all that stuff too.
You let me know when you're coming out this way, because I'm not that far, obviously, and yeah, love to show you around. You will be missed, but yeah, totally understandable with things going on, Todd.
Yeah, I was hoping to hang out with Nick and do some. That man is something else.
He's another one that just he's so full of energy and so vibrant, and he loves the fans. I mean, he loves talking with the fans. He loves conversing. He loves telling his stories, and and his memory is incredible. I mean, anybody that's seen Nick on your show, he's been on my show. I mean, he's been on other people's podcasts.
Yeah.
It's just he's incredible. I mean, the attention of detail that he has, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that he actually follows through and writes those memoirs that he has said that he has been thinking about doing. He'll say he'll start writing it, and then he's like, and then he kind of stops. And I'm hoping at some point in the near future that he actually does follow through with it, because I mean, I think that will be incredible.
I told him, I said, if you get frustrated with just writing them, just get a tape recorder out, start taping, and then let somebody else write it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's I did that with my grandfather. Every time I went down there, I'd always get him and tell him one of his stories or where he's from and all that stuff. And I've got an actual DVD and a CD with him just telling us, just so because when somebody passes away after so many years, you kind of forget their voice and everything.
Yes,
I've still got it.
That's wonderful that you did that, Todd. That really is.
Yeah.
Nice memento for sure.
Speaking of Nick, we are going to have him also at Wonderfest. He's going to be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Very cool.
We got a huge display, Eagle display. We're going to set up, and it's going to be in the model contest room. As soon as you walk in the door, I think it's going to be to the right, but anyway, you won't be able to miss it. And then he's going to have a table where he can sit and do autographs like always. So, and tell stories. I'm getting a room set aside also for him to go in and do a question answer and just do the Nick Tate thing. Talk about himself.
Nick doesn't need many questions. He just naturally he'll go on and on.
Yeah, well, we talked on the phone the other night, and I was talking about Wonderfest and the flights and everything like that, and somehow I don't know how, but we got off on stocks and bonds. I don't know where that came from.
Yeah.
So you're talking about something, and off he goes.
Stock market and
Tesla?
Tesla, of course. Right. And the other thing that him and I have talked about it on a couple of occasions are the cryptocurrency market, things like Bitcoin. He follows that quite closely as well.
Yeah. So it's going to be a big Wonderfest for us with, we got, Jeffrey Morris and his crew coming in for the launch of the Eagle Has Landed stuff. He's going to be up your way too.
Yeah, for sure. I almost forgot there's so much going on. And even on top of Jeffrey, David Hirsch, of course, and Robert Wood are going to be there signing some of their books that they put out recently. So, yeah, definitely lots on the plate.
Have either one of you guys decided if you're going to go to Wonderfest this year?
I'd like to. I'd never been myself, and Roy and I have discussed it. And it's going to depend on timing. It's going to depend on work schedules, things like that. But I'd love to come hang out, honestly.
If everything goes right, Todd, I'll be there. So it's definitely been planned out and scheduled. And Sherry's being very accommodating because our anniversary. wedding anniversary is right there too, because we got married on the 9th and Wonderfest is the 10th and 11th. So yeah. But yeah, I'm hoping to. I was like this close last year with getting up there, so it'll be pretty cool to make it.
And 10th and 11th of June. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. So that weekend thereabouts. Okay.
Yeah. Everything's coming right. I mean, there's so much coming down the pike. It's crazy that, and it's going to happen so fast. That's the other piece of it too.
Oh, right. And I keep forgetting about this. Doesn't that blow your mind, guys? That it's is it the 30th or 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi?
40th.
40th. Wow.
Big 40. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be huge.
The theater when that came out, I mean, that was like epic, an epic event back in 1983.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's there's gonna be a lot of Star Wars people there, so we really gotta have a 1999 show. Everybody's got to show up with their Space 1999 props and ships, shirts and hats. So
absolutely, you got to put one on for the ages, right? And represent.
But I like Star Wars, so I mean it's gonna be cool for me too. And then my buddy David Jacobs is building a studio scale X-wing, and it's gonna be flying. It's gonna be a diorama of it flying down those whatever that is at the Death Star to shoot the torpedoes in, and it's going to be sound. It's going to be.
You mean with the trench and everything?
Yeah, the trench. That's what I was trying to think of.
Wow.
I mean, that thing's going to be, huge.
That's amazing.
Didn't he build an Altaris a few years ago?
Yeah. He's done the Altaris. He did the Swift. He did an Eagle. The first year that I met him, he had a 44-inch Eagle that he built from stuff laying around the house.
That's amazing.
Wood, whatever he could find. And it was awesome. And somehow it got broken when he got back from Wonderfest.
Oh, no.
But it was sitting up there on a nice launch pad and everything. That's how I was like, holy crap, I'd love to have that. And he finally came over and we met. And we've been friends ever since. Yeah. So, and he's a hell of a model builder.
Well, I know along with Eagle 3, Darren has, of course, a few other original pieces, but he is a builder himself, and he's done some pretty massive projects. Like I think he's done recently, I don't know what scale it would be, but he did the Alpha Child ship, and I'm sure it's got to be like 3 or 4 feet. I mean, like it's huge, things like that.
Yeah. I've seen his in pictures and in live video, his basement. That's one of the things I'm going to be upset about not being able to go, is because I wanted to go over to Darren's place.
Very impressive collection.
I want a picture with Eagle 3.
Yeah. I know. It was Warren as well as myself. And Gordon, obviously, too. I mean, we're very fortunate to be at Alpha 2014 and see Eagles 1 and 2. So it's kind of like a bucket list item there. So, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. It was actually Darren and I were talking about it last night, and as far as it was primarily used in season 2, and it was sort of commissioned to be more durable than the other two. So it was used quite a bit in year 2, especially during crash sequences.
Oh yeah, it was beat to hell.
So that would have been what? Seance Spectre, Devil's Planet, and the Immunity Syndrome, I'm thinking, right?
Yeah. I mean, they abused it. But it was built stronger. So it was made for that. But yeah. So Calgary's coming up. The 28th?
The big con day is going to be Saturday the 29th. Yeah,
cool.
For sure. I was going to say that David's going to bring his original Eagle 11 as well, and of course that one I mean is iconic because it was actually used in the end title sequences of each and every episode.
Yeah, I've got pictures of it on my.
I saw it in your opening, I think, right?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, that was from what, 2017, I think, right, Todd?
Yeah, it was 2017. Yeah, man, time flies when you're having fun.
It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah, I mean those two events you guys did out east there, David came to both of those and brought a number of pieces just so
Yeah.
generously, and he just loves
Yeah.
talking to the fans and
That's the one thing about David. I mean, I have to say, I have to give David a plug. I mean, one of the things I really wanted to have was David at the convention because he was such an integral part. I'm talking about David Hirsch for everybody
Yeah.
out there. He was such an
David Hirsch.
integral part of us growing up. I mean, we were fortunate. I think it was Starlog number 15 that was the first Jerry Anderson space report that was out there, and it was something I used to look forward to personally. And I know Todd, yourself, and then Warren as well. I mean, it was bi-monthly issue, and just any information that was going to be presented, because after the first earlier issues of Starlog, what happened was, unfortunately, by Starlog 6, the show had been canceled. There was trinkets. We had Starlog 7. Warren was talking about the blueprints that are out that are going to be they're going to be limited in availability in Calgary for you to get if you're interested. But we had that opportunity to have those, and we were very fortunate. And pretty much David kept things going and alive with anything with Space 1999, because after the show had gone off the air, pretty much any type of information was very sparse. And anytime we could get our hands on anything, it was like, oh wow, this is cool. Here's a mention of the series, and it wasn't really being shown on the syndicated networks. I think WPIX, I think it was around 1979, it pretty much, or 1980, it had dropped off because of the syndication costs. It was only 2 seasons, whereas like Star Trek was 3, and other shows that went longer, it would be more affordable for them to run it. Yeah. So David kept that flame burning, and to meet him all these years later, and he's just wonderful to talk to. He's a wealth of knowledge, and the fact that he's got the original Comlock, the working Comlock. He's very giving in the sense that he allows fans to see this up front in person. So
his access to that stuff back in the day, that'd be so awesome to be like, I'm here, I'm holding the Ultra Probe, I'm holding the 44-inch Rescue Eagle. Can you just that's a kid's dream right there.
Oh my God, yeah. We lived vicariously through him and through his photos.
All the pictures I've seen from him. Oh my gosh.
Pretty awesome.
And on top of that, he's a nice guy.
He is.
Oh, yeah.
He's a super nice guy. Absolutely.
Yeah, terrific. We're very pleased that both him and Renee are able to come up to Canada, and we can show them around.
Can't forget Renee. That's right.
We're very excited. David really was the Space 1999 internet, though. When you think of it back in the day, because, like Roy said, he was the only avenue, right, to any updated information. So we really got to give a hats off. Yeah. So,
my original. I remember when this showed up back in the day. I think I ordered this. I got it like in 1979. I remember walking up the steps, opening the box, and I could not wait to see the information in this thing. And I still have it to this day.
Yeah, no, for sure. So, and this guy, I just was prepping this today. I'm going to bring it to Calgary. So so there's a number of connections here. So this is the Starlog hardcover slipcase that they put out. I got this from the estate of Martin Landau a number of years back, and I found in the back of it David Hirsch's business card. So this was actually provided to Martin from David back in the day, probably in the late 70s, early 80s. And then as I was thumbing through stuff today, I realized, so this has issues 3 to 12, mint condition. Like, wow, it's like they've never seen the light of day. But this has issue number 7, of course, with the Jeffrey Mandel blueprints in it. Nice. Just fantastic find. So yeah, lots of exciting stuff on the plate.
Yeah, just all the stuff that's come out these last, this is my 8th year on of props and ships, and the 22-inch Eagle getting produced. Holy crap.
That was a monumental event. It really was, because I mean, we all love the Eagle. We have all our lives, but to have something like that, and I remember they started with like a repop of the old AMC kit,
Oh,
which,
yeah.
was nice, that it became available again. But I mean, it always irked me, the inaccuracies of that kit. So it was nice to finally see, and even at a larger scale, something that accurate, and the care and love that went into that.
Well, I have to say too, a shout out to both you and Gordon, because for you guys have done with this, which Space 1999 props and ships. I mean, I know a lot of the companies are doing this. They're doing the round two, and then also Jamie's involved with everything as well. Jamie Hood and everything. But you've kept the flame burning, and the connections that have been formulated from this, from your the page that has been created and the members, and bringing everybody together and showing that there's an extreme interest in 1999. There's so many aspects of this series that people love. I mean, whether you love the stories, whether you love the actors, whether you love the special effects, whether you love the props and the ships, there's so many things. And then also what's happened is, over the years, I mean, it's just a family that's been formulated, and this is just another aspect of it. So kudos to both of you guys for doing what you've done, because I mean, and I know I'm going to be off on the count, but how many releases has there been? Has it been like 25? And I'm guessing.
Oh, it's 28, I believe.
Okay,
28.
that's pretty amazing for a show that was on for 2 seasons.
Close
that
to
was
50 years later.
Produced between 1973 and 1976. That is pretty darn amazing. So seriously, kudos.
It is totally
guys.
amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah. And here's a plug for a new kit release. So behind me, this was my first build in probably 35 years. So this was one of the Cargo Eagles that Round 2 put out, and they're actually re-releasing it. So it was sold out for a lot of years, and it was going for some crazy prices on eBay. But that's a testament to the popularity of the franchise in general, that they'd re-released the Cargo Pod. So yeah, way to go, Todd.
Yeah, and I think.
Oh, and my kitty cat's gonna jump up and knock it off.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
The way that when that kit first came out, I just don't think everybody was ready for it. I think, and Jamie even told me this himself, he should have probably put the Lab Eagle 4 out first. But hey, it's got enough. These kits that they've been putting out. I mean, when they did the release of that, the kit with the
the towers and the lights.
No, with the Eagle. It was the old Eagle model, but they did the lab pod and the spine.
Oh yeah.
That thing.
They did a repop of that, but then they added. Yeah.
That thing got it all started, and people went nuts, and it just, man, it went crazy. Hell, the AMT kit, I remember that was out in that had to be back out in like 78. No, not 78. 88, 89, something like that. Because I remember I was living in South Carolina at the time, and I just happened to be in it was in the mall in South Carolina, but I saw the AMT Eagle, and that just brought it all back for me. I'm like, holy crap, I haven't seen this stuff in a long time.
Well, you remember they did the re-release around, I guess it was 1998 or 1999 for the release. It
was 1998.
Yeah,
it was.
They did the Moonbase and the Eagle. You're right, in the late 90s, Roy. Yeah.
Yep.
So
I was like, wow, how cool is this? And this is what we had grown up with, and they modified the box, and then in regards to the Moonbase Alpha. But,
how do you do the how does that happen? I mean, you go and then they release that lab pod kit, and then it went off like crazy, and that gave Round 2 and Jamie enough incentive to go forward with the 22-inch Eagle.
Yeah, which we're so appreciative of. I keep waiting for the 22-inch Eagle 4 with the spine booster pre-built to come out, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that in the future, in the near future, that's something that'll happen.
Yeah, I think it will. I think it's popular enough.
Yeah.
I I gotta include Jim Small. He has been in Jamie's ear for years and years and years about the 22-inch Eagle. So, um, you know,
Well,
like it or not, he got this. He helped get this thing going. So,
well, kudos for him doing that. I mean, and everybody that's involved on all levels, because it's much appreciated.
he does most of Jamie's builds for the
covers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he does a good job. I've got a lot of his builds in my collection back there.
So Todd, do you think it's possible? And I realize too, from a again, round two is a business, and just like every all the companies are. Do you think it's ever going to happen where there will be an Ultra Probe released?
I think so. I think they'll start with the command module,
Yep.
and then they'll go from there
to see how that goes. And see the popularity. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a lot of repeating parts on that one. So same with the Metaprobe.
Yep.
I think that stuff could probably, it's feasible. Jamie's always tells us when we say, "Hey, what about this? Could this happen?" He's on most everything. He said, "There's no reason that we can't. It just needs the demand."
Right.
Because they do have to make their money back.
Absolutely.
So, and there's a lot of fine tuning and a lot of research that goes into that. So,
right.
No, they got the Eagle down, by God.
Well, yeah, and so here's a random question, just for the completists and the purists out there. What do you think the chances would be of them ever doing an Eagle 3? Because we all know of the differences, the subtle differences. But yeah, I mean, it only makes sense.
I think I'd like to see all three Eagles, Eagle 2 and 3.
That would be amazing. Guys, can you excuse me for one moment? I'm just going to break for one moment.
Yeah. Yep. No problem. I've had to get up a couple times to look after my cat. Make sure things are secure back here. But yeah, no, that would kind of be a neat thing to have all three, Todd. You're right.
I've got a build that Bim Pomeranian did for me. That's Eagle 3. It's a 22-inch Eagle, but he did all the Eagle 3 work to it. So
nice. Yeah, he does amazing work. I've seen various examples of that in 17 and 19.
Right.
Yeah.
Nancy from Calgary says hi.
Hi, Nancy. We're going to see you in a couple weeks. Thank you for all your support, and everybody out there locally has really been doing a good job of helping us spread the word. So we appreciate it.
Let's see. Alan Bailey says he'd like to model the kits, the Swift. Yeah. That'd be cool as a model. I mean, Alexander Dumas has been so far the only one to really do a Swift kit, and it's really nice. And then of course 1612 just released theirs. It'd be interesting. I haven't got mine yet. But it'd be interesting to see what it looks like. Compare it to the Alex Dumas one.
Yeah. And shout out to 1612, because they've been another advocate for the resurgence in 1999 merchandise the last 10 years. They've done some amazing stuff.
I think they've got it figured out too, because they were Product Enterprise, all that stuff, and I think they've done a very good job at releasing just enough, kits and like the episode versions and all that stuff to not go out of business like Product Enterprise just tried to flood the market. Well, you're not going to sell them all, and then you were getting even the 23-inch Eagles that they did. I got one off of you.
Yeah,
they were selling for cheap because they couldn't get rid of them.
Right. Yeah, there's something to be said for that business model where, and I think even Round 2 has been able to adopt this, right, with all of their releases, where the further along you go, right, there's less risk involved as far as upcoming releases, right? Because they've made most of their money back. But it's that, again, I'm going to use that term drip of releasing things slowly and making your money back on your investment, and then you can really have some fun maybe a few years down the road with things like an Ultra Probe or things like that.
Right. 1612, you know, like them or hate them, they're doing a good job at their business model. They're being very careful on how many kits to sell, and that and by them selling them out, that proves that they're doing a good job at it. If they had a bunch left over, then that would be a problem. But most everything they've sold out. They just recently came out with the helmets,
Yeah.
Which I've got a Carter one coming, so I can make sure
Yeah.
that I'll have it with me at Wonderfest, so Mr. Tate can sign it.
I'd love to have had one for Calgary, but it just didn't work out. But
Yeah.
great thought. Yeah.
But there's all kinds of stuff going on. You know, I just cannot believe how this thing's grown and how I've, you know, made so many friends across the world. I mean, worldwide. It's crazy.
Mhm.
So, you know, people like, well, Robert Baldessari, you know, he trusts me enough to sell his. I did sell his original posters before he sent them to me then, and then he just recently let us do the smaller version, and now we're back up to the large version. So they're more expensive now, obviously, because getting a production of 100 is more expensive than getting a production of a 5,000.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how many Robert did in his initial run, but I'm going to say he did quite a bit to get the cost down, because I think he was only selling them for like, you know, $20 or something like that, $19.99 or something like that. I love that price too. That price is good. $19.99 stuff. But so you got, you know, Roberto. I have had posters from what's his
Robert Bergeron. You remember
Yeah.
those little posters?
Robert
They were
Bergeron.
beautiful.
Yeah. So
Really beautiful work.
I'm probably going to get some more of his, because he got a load of them.
Yeah.
So I'll probably bring some to Wonderfest. But yeah,
there's even a rare, infamous one that I think you have, Todd, that was never actually released. So it was a rescue version. Yeah.
The third version.
Yeah.
He did a special print for me and Gordon, since we were helping him sell down his stock.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I've actually got one. So I'm sure there's only the three ever been made of, well, sort of unofficially available, but yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, just from 2015, our first Wonderfest, to 23 has been a hell of a ride. Now, I'm just blessed. I'm happy. I like sharing my my hobby and my favorite show with everybody, and we get to do things like this. So, and people actually tune in to watch. Amazing.
It's crazy, but yeah, I mean, it's nice the way we're all able to help each other out as well. We've all got our own, you know, sort of vested interests in different aspects of the community, but I mean, we're all one big happy group when you think about it, and you know, sharing each other's work around is a pleasure, and it's been nice to see, and it's reciprocated, and yeah, some awesome work has been done and forged and achieved these last 15-20 years.
Yeah, I've met the actors. You know, the only one I didn't get to see is Martin. We that close that year, 2017.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was. I was blessed personally, because he was at Alpha 2012, and that almost didn't happen. But there was a convention that was in New Jersey called Saturday Nightmares, and that was in 2011 that he was at. He was there like 3 days, and literally an hour from my house. And I went Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I just went all 3 days. I kept bringing my stuff, and you know, Shari was with me the first time, and I remember she said to Martin Landau, she said, "You're making him feel like a little boy again." And then he turned her and he looked at her and he said to her, he said, "He's making me feel young again," because I was just like so, you know, giddy, and you know, it was amazing.
You know how nice he was. You know, I had my surgery in 2016, and one of the guys in my group, I guess Martin was at one of the conventions in Pittsburgh.
Yes, I remember seeing that.
And he he asked the guy that he was going, and he said, "Do you want me to get anything signed for you?" So I sent him one of my 12-inch passenger pods,
Mm-hmm.
and Martin signed it to Todd from Martin Landau.
Wow.
And then he signed a get well card and a photo for me, and it says to commander, from one commander to another, or something like that. I can't remember what it says. It's
awesome.
back here in this stuff, but I mean, he didn't have to do all that.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to meet him, but
you have to connect with them.
I got to connect with him. Yeah, that's the same thing with Nick and all those guys, and Brian Johnson. I run his Facebook page too, and sell some photos here and there. But I feel like we're pretty good friends. Have not been introduced in person yet, so that's one of my big bucket lists. I need to get over there and see and meet Brian, because he can't travel overseas anymore.
Well, hopefully next year, Todd. That'll be for the 50th
Please.
anniversary.
Absolutely. Yeah, we got some really exciting things in the works for that as well. I'm looking at the clock here. I'm not sure if you usually wrap at an hour, Todd, but I'd like to segue into something, again, sorry, in relation to Calgary, but it's very exciting. It has to do with Martin. And just take a couple minutes and explain that Roy and I have been very fortunate the last few weeks to be involved in something regarding a lot of Martin's personal items from his collection, and from magazines to personal effects. And so what we're going to have on display are a number of articles that he collected and documented and recorded, things that were in newspapers. This is from Variety. This is a 2-page ad in Variety that ran from 1975 to promote the series. So these are all things from the personal archives of Martin Landau that we're going to have on the first time. We're really excited about that. It's never been a lot of these things haven't seen the light of day for close to 50 years. So it's really something to go through some of these boxes, isn't it, Roy?
Yeah, I mean, he was meticulous in his collecting of things that he was a part of, and other things as well too. But he pretty much was very organized. And Warren was showcasing some of the stuff that'll be at the convention in Calgary. It's just he was just very very detailed. I mean, even with information in regards to that, you were talking about earlier, Warren, where you had the Starlog magazines, and then he had David Hirsch's business card in there. So it to come across some of these trinkets, I'll say, is just amazing. So it'll be kind of fun just to have these on display at the convention. And again, as Warren was also saying, that this is some of the stuff had not been seen in almost like 50 years.
Right. So, that's crazy. I would have never thought that he would have collected that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's a different time, guys, because as we're going through it, I was saying to Roy that, I mean, of course, in the day of the internet that we're all used to, I mean, back in the 70s, you got to realize that, I mean, and I even joked about David Hirsch being the internet for Space 1999 back in the day. But you see, all there was essentially print. Right. So magazines, newspapers, right. So I mean, it wasn't only Martin taking the time to document a lot of this, but I mean, he actually hired clipping services to scour the trades and the magazines and look for things specific to him, and then they'd forward them to him directly. So just a fascinating way to think of how people kept informed, back 50 years ago.
I'll use this as just one example, and this is, and maybe you've heard, I'm sure you've heard of it, the Hollywood Reporter, kind of like Variety, the trade papers, and this is an example of this. And this is dated back from 1967, and you can see that in regards to Mission Impossible, when he was take out like a full ad on that, and
look at that. Oh, love it.
His different characters. So again, he collected this. He was very proud of these items, and he kept them in storage. And it was very interesting just to come across that.
That is very interesting. Yeah, he was definitely all the Space 1999 guests um, do they do different than Shatner, even those big names. They hang out with us.
Yeah.
They actually make it a like it's a big family.
Hmm.
I mean, I would have never thought in 2017 that I was going to hang out with Nick almost 16 hours in a day. I
And
mean,
this dates back to like the first Space 1999 convention. I mean, the original
yeah,
one was in Columbus, Ohio, back in '78, in July of '78, I believe. And seeing photos, seeing pictures that were in the old Starlog magazines, and then as things progressed over the years, thankfully with the internet and Facebook, folks showing different photos taken from those events. Lou
mhm,
Place, who a lot of folks might know, I mean, he's incredible with his creations. He had showed me probably back in the late 80s a lot of his photo collections, and when you would see the actors and the stars from the show interacting with the fans at that level, it was like, wow. I mean, it's something that you really didn't see at different conventions that took place in the 80s, 90s, and then
mhm.
even to where we are today. I mean, you still have your different moments. Things have kind of evolved where they'll do special situations, but this is pretty much going like on all day. And
Right.
again, it was a different time, but a lot of that has carried over. We've tried to allow it to carry over to now, and we're just very fortunate. And
Yeah.
like you guys have said, it's like we're one big. It's not like we're one big family, and
They're very generous with their time when they are at a convention or at a
um,
relaxicon, whatever. I mean, you can sit and chat with them. They'll drink a beer, eat dinner with them.
yeah.
It's pretty wild,
Yeah.
and they don't charge you for that either. They just hang out with you because we're the fans and we admired them and their show, and they appreciate that.
Well, I remember in 2017, Warren, Gordon, yourself, Todd, myself, and I think even Ryan, my son, because Ryan was at that. We were
Hmm.
outside. It was after the Saturday night event, and we're just hanging out, and we're around
Yeah,
the table, and there were other people that were there too, and we are just talking stories with Nick, and Nick was telling stories with us, and it was just very it was I'll use the word intimate because it was just that type of an environment, and as you said, very carefree with the time, and just very appreciative and very welcoming, which is
exactly.
really cool.
Yeah. So yeah, so we got Calgary coming up, and then Wonderfest after that. Um, Other than that, there's always something behind that. I'm sure there'll be. Oh, and we got to throw in this documentary that Jeffrey is doing.
Absolutely
Yeah, this has got the potential to be
huge.
huge. Yeah, we're talking maybe a Netflix film. So I'm totally excited, and I'm ready to get it figured out and let all the fans know what's going on and do some stuff. So I can't wait till we get to that point. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
um,
it'll
We've
be
all been very fortunate to be have to have been involved on a preliminary level on that project as well. And going forward, Todd, of course, um, you know, can never say never, but can never guarantee at the same time. But that's something that we could see, set up as a premiere next year in London at the big 50th anniversary.
right. Yeah, I can't.
So let's hope.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah, fingers crossed on that. I think it has the potential to be very, very special. As we know, Jeffrey is very passionate about Space 1999, just as we all are.
Hmm.
And being in the film industry and involved at the capacity and the level that he is, I think that as long as everything goes the way he's envisioning and things stay in alignment the way
Right.
it needs to, the opportunity for this to be showcased, and how wonderful would that be if it happens next year too with the 50th anniversary. I mean, it's going to bring a lot of attention to Space 1999. Also, with everything that's going on with, again, nostalgia is a huge factor. We
Right.
are coming full circle with going back to the moon or heading into space. I mean, we've experienced that. We were talking about William Shatner earlier. We were
Yeah.
talking, what's happening with that, and they just sent the unmanned ship that went around the moon and then came back. So a lot of focus is being put in that type of capacity. So I think that the stars are, no pun intended, are kind of in alignment for everything to shine through this. So it's could be a wonderful opportunity to really experience this.
Yeah, they're talking about going to Mars, a manned mission to Mars, and everything. So
Yeah,
to hit next year, I think that's going to be perfect timing because you're going to see a lot of that stuff in the documentary. So I can't wait. I can't wait.
Well,
it's
space travel is. Sorry, Todd. Go ahead.
I was just say it's sci-fi until it's not.
Right. There's those meta aspects, and I was just going to say that space travel is suddenly relevant again. It wasn't for many years, but it is sort of like Roy said. It's come full circle with that 50-year gap in between, where people are. You can see it. They're getting excited about space travel again, and it's just such a fun thing to be a part of.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, there's just so much, coming up and everything. Oh, you know what? I do want to give a shout out real quick to Trek Long Island. If you are in the Long Island area in New York, East Coast, next month, May 20th and 21st, it's a Saturday, Sunday. There's going to be a lot of Star Trek guests. It's going to be a concentrated event. They're bringing in a lot of different individuals. I would say just go to the website, go to StarTrekLongIsland.com to check it out. Original series guests, and then a lot of guests from the different incarnations of Star Trek that have been happening over the years. So it should be a fun time. So
yeah,
hoping folks can be there. I'm actually going to be doing a panel discussion with some original series guest stars from classic Trek. So
nice.
Look forward to that. Yeah. So in person, and be broadcasting the show hopefully at some point to Roy's Tie-Dye Sci-Fi Corner.
Awesome.
Yeah, we always got to throw a plug in for you too.
Yeah. Roy, is that the show that Catherine Schell's coming to, or is that another one on the East Coast?
That's going to be another one, and you bringing that up, Warren. That's going to be a Doctor Who convention that's going to be taking place in August. And Catherine
she was in a couple episodes of Doctor Who as well, right?
Yes, with Julian Glover, who of course was from Alpha Child. So she's going to be in Long Island for that convention appearance. So that'll be in August. So if you go to check that out on the internet, I don't have the just look up Long Island Doctor Who, under a Google search, and you'll find the information. So
hopefully we'll see her in London.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. She'll be a most welcome addition, and she's lovely. Roy and I saw her in 2014. She's a lot of fun.
It was a bummer she didn't make the our 2019.
Yeah, I know, and she was there for 2017 through the internet. It was nice. Yeah. We set up the video chat with her, which was wonderful, and we were hoping to do the same for 2019. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but yeah, like I said, she's going to be there in person though in August for this Doctor Who convention, and then as Warren was saying, for next year we're keeping our fingers crossed that she'll be there in the UK for the 50th anniversary celebration. So stay tuned in regards to that.
Yeah. And you know what? One other thing, positive spin, guys. You know what? Everything happens for a reason. It's a big disappointment when people do have to cancel. But you know what? Because of that, I think honestly, that led to bringing Yasko into the community, which had never happened before. And now she's such an integral part. She's lovely. Yeah. Everybody got to meet her in 2019. Cool. And of course, she's going to be in Calgary. We can't wait to see her, right?
Yeah.
Yes. We're very excited about that.
Quiet.
Yeah.
She is. And she's lovely. And I actually have my friend Marianne to thank for that, because I was actually on my way up to Ticonderoga, and what had happened was I asked Marianne if she could reach out to Yasko's daughter, and because she is on social media, she's on Twitter, and because Yasko had done an appearance, an autographic signing in London, and she had been at an event of that type of nature. And what happened was I asked Marianne, can you please just get in contact with her daughter and just let her know that this convention was being planned, and this was for 2019. And Marianne Twittered her, so to speak, and gave her my information. And then what happened was, when I was up in Ticonderoga, I saw this phone number coming through from Los Angeles, and I was like, "Oh my goodness!" I'm hoping, keep my fingers crossed, because she said that Miki said she was going to relay the information, and she did. And Yas, as Warren said, and as Todd said, she couldn't be nicer. And I'm really happy about that, because she had never actually had done like a Space 1999 event, and I think it really gave the opportunity for folks that were actually there just to get to see her and get to know her. And just, she was very humbled. I mean, she had no idea. So she was just very appreciative of the Andersons, of how they had her involved with the show, because she had been on their earlier show, Jerry Anderson's earlier show, which was The Protectors. Mm-hmm. And she was involved in that. And she has had nothing but nice things to say about Tony Anholt too. And, God rest his soul. I mean, he's passed. It's been quite some time now, over 20 years, but she said that, he was a friend, and, she was very sad when, he had passed away so young too, at 61 years of age. But, she had very fond memories of, of working with them and everything, and being on that series. And of course, Space 1999.
Yeah, she did have some great Anderson stories. And on a personal level, I was smitten the moment I met her, because as you recall, Rory, we went to pick her up at the airport. And as soon as I got out, she noticed I had a Twin Peaks shirt on. And she points and she says, "You know what? David Lynch is my next door neighbor." And I was like, holy man, I can't believe it.
Small world.
Yeah.
Pretty incredible.
And she basically, like, for Calgary, sorry, real quick, she just wants to come hang out, and she had such a good time in 2019. I mean, and there again, I mean, that's a testament to the fans, the community, for her to basically go out of her way to try and be in Calgary, because we're all just going to be hanging out. I mean, this is really, really wonderful on her part.
Yeah. I loved her. She was just so. I've got a picture of her somewhere that somebody took of me and her together, and I've still not been able to find it. So
you still didn't find that, Todd? I remember you saying it.
Oh no.
Yeah, I've got the big photo of us all together, but I somebody took my photo with her and said they would send it to me, and either they sent it to me and I freaking deleted it by accident or what. But
yeah, because I combed through my photos that I had on my phone, because
I'll have a look. You never know. I'll definitely do some browsing.
So just to let her, because there's a few more people that joined us. Nick McCarty's here.
Hey, Nick.
Let's see.
Awesome work, Nick.
Yeah, Nick.
Yeah, he does some good work. He came through for me on that missing man formation with the Eagles for Rick Robinson. It was cool.
Yeah.
You guys can see up in the top right-hand corner, that's Rick's logo he came up with for the Eagle Factory.
Very nice.
So kind of just, I'm missing him and trying to get some of my stuff back. I talked to his mom last night, and of course they only had a little bit of time to deal with things, so they kind of gave everything model-wise to one of Rick's friends that was into the hobby, and he's supposed to be getting those things together, and some things for sale, and hopefully the ones that they said that we owned that he didn't get to, that they'll get them back to us too. So, but yeah, it's been a little over an hour. Are you guys on a time schedule? Because I got a few things I want to go over too. But
yeah, go. I'm good until about 3:30. If that's okay.
Okay. Yeah. Whenever you guys. Let's see. Posters. The Eagle Cutaway. Don't forget, we've got those for sale, and we've now acquired 3 or 4 of the original size. What are they? 24 by
probably
36 or something like that.
Those are pretty huge. Those are nice.
They're big, yeah. But they're also costly. So just anybody out there that wants one, either the small one, the 11 by 14 and a half, or 11 and a half by 14, just hit me or Gordon up in an email, and we'll get you taken care of. We'll have some at Wonderfest also. I think Gordon might be bringing some to Calgary. I can't remember if he said he was doing that or not.
Cool.
But he should.
Awesome.
So then, like I said, Roberto was very kind to let us do that. And, you know, when you buy one, some of that money goes to Roberto also. So
his work is incredible. I mean, I
Yeah.
remember seeing that years ago, and it holds up to this day. So if you
I'm gonna-
haven't,
yeah, I'm going to talk to him about the other sets, the black and whites and stuff like that he did. See if we can put together like a 4-pack or something like that.
that would be cool.
And the what else have we got? You know, I've got kits that we still have, the Sidon, you know, the mystery thing, the mystery ship from Mentors, from the
Yes.
Shell debut from Maya. We got lots of stuff. I mean, as far as Eagle 1, 2, and 3, somebody asked earlier what was the differences in Eagle 3. If you go to the photo section, the media section in the group in Props and Ships, I've got several albums in there that just shows you everything about Eagle 1, Eagle 2, and Eagle 3, and you'll be able to see them. Most of the differences were the shoulder pods were done differently. Even the passenger pod was a little different. I mean, it's so small. It's unnoticeable in the TV show, except for you can see like the shoulder pods, you know, how much different they are. But if you're just watching the show, you thought that, you know, that's the same Eagle the whole time. But
you know, it's funny, growing up, I had never really noticed it. I think the only thing that really stood out for me, honestly,
I didn't
would have
notice
been
it either.
Alpha Child, when the 3 Eagles are going after the ships, and then what happens is they get hit by the laser beams, and they're basically stunned, and then they come down, and then of course you could see the stripes on the Eagle, but instead of being red, they were gray. But that was probably the only time growing up that I had actually caught that there was something that was, you know, different, so to speak.
Yeah, I didn't see it either when I was growing up. No. I didn't see it until, you know, we got into the fandom.
Yeah.
And I mean, I got to say, guys, I mean, even Roy, in 2014, when Eagle 1 and Eagle 2 were there, I was like, there's a difference, right? I didn't even really start to glean the differences until the kits started to come out. Right. And then you could really sit there and analyze the differences. And I know, even though there's no kit, I know off the top of my head that particularly on the bottom of the shoulder pods for Eagle 3, there's a different, they're shaped differently, molded differently. Yeah.
Eagle 2 is the same way. Eagle 2's command module is much different if you look at them compared side by side. In the TV show, you can't tell.
Right.
Even the passenger pod's a little different, but the shoulder pods are the most obvious stuff.
Yeah.
But it's interesting now, even going back and watching the episodes, I can spot 1, 2, and 3 like that, like the back of my hand.
Yeah.
You know, when you see the 2 in full circle, you know, on the planet, you know which one's Eagle 1, which one's Eagle 2, and which one's the cardboard cutout.
The cardboard cutout that is parked a lot differently when they later on in the episode. That's the funny thing.
Yeah, Nick says he can send a poster to you, Warren, for the convention.
Oh, sure. Yeah, lovely.
Nice.
Yeah,
very nice.
Thank you, Nick.
Yeah, Nick is doing some posters, and they look pretty cool. Among other things, and his videos are pretty cool too. So
no, definitely. And like I said, we'll have a variety of merch there. Oh, even some stuff from the Anderson store, by the way. So we're gonna have a bunch of DVDs, of course, and books and the puzzles and the pin sets, and so we've been able to sort of partner with the Jerry Anderson store as well to provide a little bit of merch. But yes, thank you, Nick.
Right. So recapping, you guys are gonna do the Calgary thing on the 29th
Yes.
of this month.
Saturday, April 29th, and then the day trips are going to be on either side of it. But if anybody wants to keep up to date, if you haven't yet, the Facebook page is a flurry of activity recently. So it's facebook.com/space 1999 50 years, if that helps. Just look for Space 1999 50th anniversary on Facebook and you'll find it.
Yeah, 50th anniversary. That's what I was trying to remember.
Yeah, so
But,
literally, it's 2 weeks from this past Friday. Everything's going to be starting. That's crazy.
It's gonna be good for the Canadian people.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big following up here. You know, it's very unique, even over the U.S. guys, because in Canada, you see, space was broadcast on a network coast to coast. You know, at the same time, where it was sold to individual stations down in the U.S. and it would be on at midnight in some markets and 7 p.m. in others, and yeah, so it's sort of a different dynamic up here because we were all sort of watching it at the same time and following along. And then, of course, on top of that, like back in the 70s, I mean. You guys can probably relate to this. We only had two TV stations up here in Canada. Well, actually, we had a third. So we had 2 English stations and 1 in French. And I always would tune into the French station to watch space as well. It was called Cosmos 1999.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So hopefully that turns out well. And like I said, send us some pictures and some videos so we can share them throughout the groups.
Absolutely. Like we said, Todd, you will be missed. So sorry.
I'm feeling it right now. I wish I could do it, but I can't. I can't do that and get everything ready for Wonderfest and my job and
there's only so many days, so many hours in a day. No, I totally understand.
I know. I gotta figure that out too, because when I get home, I'm just like, I'm home. Then I look around, I gotta do laundry. I gotta do this. I gotta do that.
We're all feeling that, my friend.
Yeah,
I know.
And then I've got my granddaughters, that live right next door, and I need to spend time with. And
yeah, of course.
So, but so you guys got everything out that you needed to talk about with Calgary?
I'm golden, Roy. But
I think we've covered everything. And again, thank you very much, Todd. Much appreciated. And like I've said before, I want to have you and Gordon on at some point. It's just between now and June, it's going to probably be crazy with everything. But I think that things will be opening up probably sometime, between maybe July and September. And we'll figure out something, because definitely want to have you guys on. And I was saying about doing it in March, and I'm, again, there's only so many hours in the day, and, these events, with blowing through vacation time and trying to do work and everything. And I know, Warren, your schedule is just as crazy. And Warren, and again, I got to give kudos to Warren, because he has been spearheading everything in regards to Calgary for the most part. I mean, he's just been doing a lot with this, and, coordinating with everything with the hotel, and, getting things, coordinated as far as having things set up. So, I mean, there's a lot of work that goes into that, which, Todd, and, I've been there with that. And,
I remember.
So,
but listen, we all help each other out in an integral way, right? And
absolutely.
Todd was there for you, and Gordon was there for you. You've done the same thing for me, and there's no way I could have gotten through this without you. So thank you.
No, of course, it's all teamwork.
Roy, you're just as,
absolutely.
We couldn't have done our conventions without you. You
right.
had it. So I mean,
those
things went off like fireworks, man. It was awesome.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, and especially that was like that was your first.
That was my very first. 2017, and I'm looking forward to London, because I have never gone to a Space 1999 convention as a fan.
There you go.
And I was pretty damn busy with the 17 and the 19, so I want to sit back and
different perspective. You can just go and enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I'd love to chat with everybody in London and stuff like that, and maybe we can set it. I can't wait to just meet everybody. I mean, I've been talking to him and on videos and on Facebook and Messenger and everything, but the ones that came over, I mean, like
Jim Winch and
yeah,
his
Jim
wife
Winch,
Colleen. Yeah, that whole crew over in the UK, Todd. I mean, you know all the names. I don't have to
exactly.
rattle them off, but I mean, Daryl Simmons and everything they're going to do with all sections alpha for us. I mean, it's really going to be spectacular.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. So I can't wait. Another big bucket list item to
Yeah,
scratch off.
not only going to the event and the convention, but I mean, it's London, it's the UK. I mean, that in
Mhm.
itself is, I mean,
I was there when I was 18.
oh, were you really? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I've been to London and France and everything, but you know, as an 18-year-old, you're more thinking of, hey, I can drink beer with and not be. There's a few nights I got, you know, barely got back to the room, so thank God I had a couple people that could handle me. So
Different
yeah,
perspective, right? Another time, another place.
another time, another place, exactly.
Well, and I'll tell you real quick, guys. I mean, of course, aside from the convention-related activities that we'll have ongoing in London, we're certainly going to still be doing a lot of day trips and excursions as well. Somebody had posted in the comments earlier on the show today about
Yeah,
the famous museum, right? And so
you
we're
got to go
definitely
there.
Yeah.
organizing a trip up there. And then, of course, Roy, Black Park, Pinewood
Black Park.
Studios.
Yep.
Wow. I mean, to travel all that way in 2014, Roy and I opted to go to Pinewood and Black Park over Stonehenge. Go
Yeah.
figure.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
So,
that was a trip and a half. I mean, we didn't get past the security guard at Pinewood Studios because unfortunately, I'm sure they would have been pretty strict as it was just because it was Pinewood Studios, but Star Wars was being filmed there, so they didn't want you anywhere near
Right.
the booth. So I mean, if Star Wars hadn't been there, I think they would have maybe entertained or they would have at least acknowledged our, being there and maybe our, non-status. But the fact that
Right.
Star Wars was there, it was like anybody that was even close to that gate, they were like, you know what, back off, because it was just like, it wasn't going to happen. But what we did was then we went over to Black Park and then we rented bicycles and then we drove to the fence of where Black Park actually ends and where Pinewood Studios begins, and they literally like border each other. Right. So we were at the back end of Pinewood Studios, so to speak, and also Black Park, and we got to see the buildings with the sound stages and probably where L&M was located and where they shot the show.
We were like they call them the barns, L&M. I mean, they're very recognizable because they're these long brown buildings like barns. And also on the backside there were Jerry Anderson's offices, and they shot a lot of UFO there. And,
right.
Yeah, it was really something.
Black Park has a lot of history. For folks out there that ever watched the Hammer films, I mean, the Christopher Lee movies, all of that stuff that was done like in the 60s and the 70s. Of course, 1999, Full Circle was shot there, and a lot of UFO was filmed there. The Rules of Luton, they have the lake that's there. I mean,
that lake scene where I guess is still basically about the same.
Yeah,
I understand.
Yeah, we saw that, and
we were there. And our jaws dropped.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool just to be in that vicinity to see all that. And fortunately, I actually did a lot of videoing, so I've got that on a tape somewhere. But
that'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'll have to bring that out at some point. But thank you again, Todd.
No problem. We've been on for an hour and 24 minutes, so I just want to throw a couple things in of the kits that I forgot to mention. That I've got some 44-inch Eagle stuff that's in the works. Ooh. So a lot of people didn't get the 1612 Eagle, the big 44-inch Eagles, and some of them that did, are wanting, the extra passenger pods that didn't come with it. There's no way anybody could just buy all the variations. So I've got a lab pod that we're putting together.
Nice.
So that's the Masters. We had to do some alterations to make it a little more accurate, but yeah.
Wow.
we're gonna produce a 44-inch lab pod in case anybody doesn't have one and wants one. So that's interesting. And I'm also here's the bottom shot of it.
Wow, look at that.
So yeah, it'll all be pretty neat. Hopefully it'll be out. Hopefully we'll have the master done by Wonderfest. I can show it off.
That's looking pretty incredible. I
See,
mean, 1612, what they have done, what Steve has done, and I know, and Angie is wonderful too. I mean,
oh yeah,
with the products and everything, and just their customer service. I mean, they have put out so much as well. I mean, I know you were acknowledging round 2 and everything with Jamie Hood and everything, but
oh yeah, 1612's done an upstanding work. I mean, I can't say enough about them in round 2, and then Eagle Moss, they bombed. They did the same thing that Product Enterprise did. They just went crazy, and they just their costs were too high to keep everything.
Right.
Well, you know what? And 1612 sort of hits a different market or demographic, if you will, as well, because it appeals to the people who aren't builders, right? Like myself. I mean, I did the one behind me, but I mean, I just don't have the time to constantly
Same here.
Rick was amazing, right? I mean, yeah, I mean, well, even Gordon, I mean, he'll be the first one to attest that he's not a builder. I mean, he just he's a collector.
And I can't build to save my life. That's why I keep saying I'm keeping my fingers crossed that round 2 comes out with the 22-inch of Eagle 4, with the spine booster from the Metamorph. Because
I think that's a good thing for Jamie. I'm going to talk to Jamie while we're at Wonderfest. We always have our Friday night dinner together.
Yeah.
As you can see in the picture, that is one of the collision course mines.
Yes.
Cool. That is the original studio scale. It's the bigger one. It's 6 inches. So that'll go in with anybody's 44-inch or studio scale stuff. So that's almost done.
Nice.
Good.
Over one.
I'm not certain, but I think Darren Peters actually has one of the originals.
Does he?
I don't think so. I think the only originals of those are Peter or Andrew Frank.
Andrew's got them. Okay, yeah.
Andrew has them. Yeah, he might have a replica, which is fine with me.
He might have. I think he's got the original 44 cargo pallet. I think that's what. Yeah.
Could be. I don't know. But
amazing work regardless. Just to have all this available now, like we were discussing all these years later, it's unbelievable that 50 years down the road, this stuff is still being produced.
Well, to your point. I mean, remember back in the day, and with the original poster from Fun Dimensions. I mean, when we had the Eagles, I mean, to think that all these kits would be available almost 40, 45, 50 years later. I mean, we would have been, as kids, we would have been going crazy. Although I don't know if we would have had the money to have actually gotten those things back then, but we were kids. But the fact that, it's here now, I mean, and it's so accurate. That's the other thing. I mean, this stuff is spot on. It's crazy.
The Mattel Eagle was one of our biggest faves.
Yes.
So
Christmas of 1976 was a great Christmas.
Right. Yeah, I remember. I wish I had pictures of me with mine. That would be awesome.
I know. I saw the one with Gordon when he's by the Christmas tree. I wish I had one of those.
Yeah, wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
I didn't realize how big of a deal it would be 50 years later.
Yeah. It's remarkable. And do you know what? A funny story. I don't think we had the Mattel up in Canada. We had the Dinkies. I've still got my 2 original Dinkies that I'm bringing to Calgary to be part of the photo op. But I recall seeing the Mattel actually on a family vacation down to Minot, North Dakota. That was the first time I saw it. I don't think it was widely available up in Canada.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it was this U.S. company, and they just did. I don't think they did anything else out of country.
Yeah.
But you find them all day long on eBay, but their prices are going up and up, and even in the bad condition. So,
that's the amazing thing. You cannot find any that are sealed and mint condition, and the ones
Or
that
missing parts.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
they're expensive
Yeah.
if you find them. I've seen them on eBay before, unopened box. Would that be sweet?
Yeah.
But even if you open it up, the eagle
The
itself
glue.
is discoloring.
Right.
There's nothing you can do about it. But that's why I had mine refurbished. I wanted mine to look like it was supposed to look like. Now I keep getting this urge to buy another one in the original form. So
Yeah, I know. It's a catch-22.
yeah,
Never ending. Yeah.
It really is.
all right. Well, I think we've covered
That's
just
an
about
hour and a
everything
half.
we covered. Yeah, did good. We didn't even have Nick with us. It's usually a 3-hour show.
3, that's nothing.
3-4 hours. Just talk away, Nick. Here, I'm gonna go eat dinner. I'll be back.
I think that's the longest show I ever had, and I think it went for. I'd have to double check. I'm going to say 4 hours and 45 minutes, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
and
it was long.
I remember Ross tuned in. He told me the story because he was he tuned in and he was on for watching in the comments section, and then he went to dinner and he was gone for like about an hour and a half, and he came back and he just jumped on onto Facebook and he's like, oh my God, you guys are still going. But
yeah, he can talk, but it's fun to listen to him. So
oh yeah, absolutely. Wouldn't change it for anything.
You guys will be listening to some here soon, and then we'll see him in Wonderfest. So
absolutely. So good
thanks, guys. I appreciate everything. And
thank you.
Anybody has any questions about Calgary, hit Roy or Warren up. And Wonderfest, you can hit me and Gordon up. So hopefully we'll see. Hopefully you'll get a lot of people showing up out there, and hopefully we'll see a lot of people at Wonderfest, which it's every year we've got more and more 1999 fans there, so it's pretty cool.
Awesome.
Excellent.
And we'll have our big display up in the suite, so after hours.
Looking forward to it.
And that's one reason I'd really like to come see the 88. Like there's no doubt about it. I mean, it's as iconic as almost.
You can't even imagine.
Just for the scale. I mean, the only other thing that would top it would be Jans from Denmark.
I wanted to mention Jan also. He just did a little convention type display, and it looked really, really good.
That thing is incredible. I mean, the 88 is amazing, and then Jan's. How big is Jan's?
It's a quarter scale, isn't it? Yeah,
it would almost have to be. Yeah,
it's huge.
If he keeps going, it's that's almost like going to be like lifelike, where you could actually go into the thing.
Yeah, I just saw some pictures of him loaded up. It took several vehicles to get it there. I mean, like 3 or 4 different big vehicles.
I have no doubt that eagle on display though was pretty amazing. So
he's done a fantastic job. That's what I like about this venue, this Facebook thing. If we didn't have this, nobody but him would see it, and some people that live around him.
Exactly.
But he's got people wanting to come visiting,
Yeah.
So, which I might if I ever get up that way.
Oh, it's amazing. I wish there was a land bridge between the UK and the rest, because I can't imagine what trying to fly Jan's Eagle to London would cost. But I know it's transportable via land, because he's had to move it from his garage to this convention facility.
Yeah, he transported it, and I saw a truck and
several pieces, and
so
pretty amazing.
Kudos to him and everybody tune into the propulsion ships and stuff like that to see his updates. He's still got to paint the frame and do some other stuff to it, but even Brian Johnson is commenting on his.
Oh yeah!
Wow, very nice. That's awesome.
So, all right. Martin Ben says thanks for a good show. He said he'll see you in Calgary.
Thanks, Martin. Looking forward to seeing you.
Yeah,
in person.
And Martin's going to be bringing some really nice SLR cameras to document everything we've got going on there. So thank you very much for that, Martin.
Yeah, no, he takes really, really cool pictures. If you everyone has the opportunity to check him out on Facebook, he's posted a lot of nice stuff. So thanks for doing that, Martin. And it's going to be, like I said, great to meet you, because he was actually in my neck of the woods not too long ago, and we kind of missed each other. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Cool.
All right, guys.
All
Okay.
right.
Catch you in
Yeah.
a couple weeks. See you
Yep.
guys later.
See you soon. Take
Thanks,
care.
guys.
Bye
Bye.
for now.
All right, thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next Todd's Corner and see some of you at Calgary. Have fun. Don't have too much fun, but have fun. I'm out of here.
Thank you.